Hi there. On today's episode, Deadpool, Wolverine, and three of us save our universe with this podcast. I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Eddie.
This is Straight to POD. All right, sounds good. So we have Deadpool 3 on the hook today for today's podcast. Really excited to get into it with Chris and Eddie here. But in case you live under a rock, Chris, why don't you tell us about this movie?
Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool is offered a place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe by the Time Variant Authority, but instead recruits a variant of Wolverine to save his universe from extinction. This film was directed by Sean Levy, who did Free Guy from last year, a couple years ago, and the Night at the Museum movies. This film starred Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Emma Corrin, and a bunch of other cameos that we'll get into.
Do you have a list, or should we pull up the list?
I have the IMDb, but yeah,
Okay. Free Guy is from 2021, by the way. That was three
yeah,
years ago.
geez.
Also Ryan Reynolds. So it's been that also has a bunch of cameos in a different kind of flavor. But Eddie, why don't you tell us your spoiler-free thoughts on this movie?
Uh, I thought it was going to be different.
Hmm.
I didn't expect the storyline or lack thereof, I guess, to be what it was. And I think after watching the film, they took the opportunity to the writers and everybody involved, they just kind of took the opportunity to make what it was. And for that, I mean, if that was the overall case, then I like it for that. All the stuff in the movie was great. It was funny. Um, but now that I had some time to marinate on it, I don't know. It seems like a little bit in the middle. For me, but the movie itself at the time was enjoyable. It's great. Lot of F bombs, a lot of blood. Definitely the rated R that I guess it was served. Um, but considering it was rated R, I thought there was gonna be more nudity on Ryan Reynolds' part. But I guess there wasn't.
I mean, it's still a Disney movie.
I
Yeah.
know, but it was like rated R. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. Like it's like, all right, there's still limitations because it is Disney. But yeah, it was a fun movie. Theater was packed. It's hard to get tickets for this in our area. But it was enjoyable. Chris, what
It
about
wasn't
you?
that hard.
Hard to get good seats. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. At least opening weekend for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. And it was like a great love letter to the Fox Marvel movies
Mm,
with just kind of like bookending a lot of those characters that we love and didn't love from those some of those bad movies, but we'll get into that.
Hey, you leave those movies alone.
Yeah, there like so many cameos. Like you can see some of them in like the trailers, but yeah, like some were like super deep. Like I wonder if people will even like get the reference for some of them, especially
yeah.
one in particular. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
it's
several in
yeah.
particular.
But I think, like Eddie said, I think the story is pretty weak, but that's just like the Deadpool movies. The story isn't really like a big thing. I feel it's more just like funny jokes, and Ryan Reynolds just does action and talks a lot. Yeah, because like all the TVA stuff I think is pretty bad in this movie, but I mean that's just the MCU as a whole, like the multiverse TVA stuff, I don't think it works very well in general. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm curious to see how like Deadpool. This movie was like super. It made like super successful. It made a lot of money, and so I'm curious to see how like Disney brings this character back. I mean, I feel like we can talk about that as well, like the future of this character and what we want to see. But yeah, it was a fun time. What about you, Charlie?
Um, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't there was a ton of cameos, but we've seen other movies with a ton of cameos that have and that has kind of fallen flat. So I'm kind of glad it was like useful cameos and not just cameo for cameo's sake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm
Hmm
talking specific. I'm looking at you, The Flash. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, given it's DC and not Marvel, but still, right? There's a bunch of other like movies that, even the one cameo just makes it cheesy and kind of weird and whatever. So they did it with taste. Um, I don't know what you guys are talking about storyline wise, but I liked it, so screw you guys.
Okay.
I mean, it was straightforward, right? Like, there were
I mean,
stakes
was it?
and yeah, it was. And I can see what you're saying about the TVA stuff, Chris, because you can kind of take the TVA and just kind of put it anywhere, and it just things just make sense, right? But overall, I like the Wolverine like arc and what since it was a what was it? It was a variant of Wolverine, right?
hmm
So I like how they played against each other. And like Eddie said, a lot of F-bombs. I think that's like the most F-bombs out of any movie.
Hmm.
I think I saw that recently. Um, and I think they played well off of each other. I think the characters played well off of each other. And yeah, it was an overall good time. And I don't what and we can talk about this in the spoilers, but the end was like, holy crap. This is like 20 years of Fox Marvel X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Or like more than 2 years? Like when did the first X-Men come out?
Like early aughts, right?
22?
2003.
2002? 2000. Jeez.
2000.
Yeah.
9/11 hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a weird point of reference. Yeah. So yeah, so it's been 24 years or more than 20 plus years of Fox Marvel movies, especially
Well, I
with the
mean,
X-Men
when
stuff.
did Disney buy Fox? That was like 2019,
Yeah,
2020,
something like that.
2020.
Yeah. But it was weird how we all I don't know, it was a weird realization to see that I was like, "Oh, I grew up with these movies. That's weird. Why am I tearing up at the end here? That's also weird." Uh but but yeah, liked it overall. Um any other spoiler free thoughts?
Mm-mm.
All right, cool. Spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, including what I assume we're going to talk about all the cameos. All the cameos.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of
Yeah.
all of the Fox movies and all of the MCU as well.
It's all going to be ruined.
Also, if you haven't seen Loki, TVA, all that stuff, there's just a lot
Yeah.
that you need to know for this movie.
I don't think
And
so. Just the TVA stuff, right?
well, the cameo
Well,
references.
I would say you need to watch the Fox movies maybe
Yeah,
to
you
get the
also need to watch the
references.
Fox
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, but that's a
Eh,
less it's like if you haven't seen it by now, like yeah, deserves
Well,
to
that's the
get
thing. If
spoiled
you
for
if
you.
you weren't into Marvel when Marvel
Like
was first
Loki
starting,
TVA was it's probably the most
yeah.
recent one. Everything
But
else
if
is
you weren't
like
into Marvel when Marvel was first starting out because it was atrocious, then you really are not gonna have an appreciation for what they were trying to do.
I can see that. I'll take that. I'll take that
Well,
because
I'm also
I'm definitely on the side where it's like I've seen all these movies and I know what they're talking about
yeah.
or
Yeah.
appreciate all of
And
this,
I remember
right?
talking to my niece about it. She was like, "I'm so excited to go watch it." I'm like, "To tell you the truth, you're not gonna understand a lot of it." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "There's gonna be some stuff where the audience might cheer, but you'll just be confused." She's like, "Huh?" And then, yep, at the end of it, she was like, "I had no idea who these people were." I was like, "Yeah, you weren't even born yet. Like, there's no way you would go back to watch it. Like, you have no idea what's going on." She's like, "Yeah, it was a little confusing at the end, but I kind of understood." I was like, even my sister, who's older than me, she's like, "I kind of remember those movies, but not really." I was like, "Yeah, it's like you had to want to see these movies." I
And
mean,
a lot of them were pretty bad.
well, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like the early, I mean, Blade was pretty cool.
Are
For
we
what
in
it
spoilers
Blade
now,
was.
was
I
good.
guess?
Oh, I mean, we were using spoilers.
All
Yeah, we're
right.
already in spoilers. Everything's
So
This
getting
was
ruined.
like a long like spoiler.
Everything's
well,
getting ruined from 2000 X-Men 1
yeah,
and
from
on.
2000 X-Men 1. So I guess before we get there, um, Charlie, you said that you were okay with like the plot and the premise of the movie. Um, did you understand? Like, did you? I was a bit lost as to what they were. The jump from World 616 to 100 whatever. I was a little confused from that jump. I didn't understand what they were doing.
Well, like how did because Deadpool being in the movie, he's applying to be an Avenger.
Yes.
How did that happen? Like how did he is he just because he's Deadpool, he can just go to a different universe?
No, so from my what I understanding is in Deadpool 2, doesn't he jump to a different timeline because his girlfriend dies?
I think there is something. I don't remember
No, he
exactly.
like
Because he has like
saves her.
Cable's thing, right? He has Cable's time travel.
Yeah, he time travels, I thought,
Yeah, but
but
that's
she's
different
dead.
than different
Yeah.
multiverse.
I thought the point was that she was dead
Hmm.
because remember they had like that weird water conversation. So, from my understanding, as he jumped to a different universe where she was still alive, but they either not to, got together or didn't know each other, and that's the 616 world that he's in now, where he applied to be an Avenger because the Avengers are together in the 616 world, not the
Hmm.
world where he originally was from and jumped from. That's why I was a little confused as to how he ended up in two different worlds within a matter of 5 minutes because it
Yeah.
was literally the intro, pretty dope intro. Was NSYNC, as you can probably see from everywhere. It's just Deadpool dancing to NSYNC
Honestly, I felt like
choreographed
it was a
thing.
little long. Like it just kept going.
Yeah, I mean the
Like,
song is like 3 minutes long. Yeah, it just kept going.
yeah,
The
it's like
dancing.
we don't need the whole song. Like it just I was like, I get the joke. It's funny. He's using Logan from the Logan movie, like his corpse as like weapon, but and then it just kept going for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it just kept going. Um, I mean, in the grander scheme of thing, I understand why they chose that song. Because they were saying bye to like pretty much all of Fox, all of the abomination that is Fox movies.
Hmm.
Um, which again, I don't know what the end goal is here, but the idea was that they're saying this was a the movie itself was like a culmination of sorry about everything you received. Here's our best way to kind of close the door on them justifiably, like a good most like the best kind of goodbye we could give you. And then like this is it. Like everything from this point on is now canon. So I don't like I said, I the way they get to the end just it just seems like it's just over. Like I had so many questions. Like the whole point was that Deadpool So after they, the whole point is that he needs to find a Wolverine because without Wolverine, there are like what do they call them? What do they call like character points or what are there?
Like key, I don't know. Yeah, key characters,
Like
key
key characters,
time
like
characters.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
like a
Yeah,
like
name to it.
anchors,
main yeah,
Anchor, is
like
that what?
universe
anchors.
anchors.
Yeah, universe
Yeah.
anchors, main character syndrome of like each universe, right? And Logan had to, was one of them, and Deadpool is also one of them. Um, but in
No,
a different
Deadpool
No,
wasn't one.
Deadpool
different
Only
time.
wasn't.
Wolverine.
Wasn't one.
Deadpool
Yeah, sorry.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Logan was,
after
but
once Logan died, Tom from or whatever was it? Mr. Paradox was like going behind the TVA's back and doing his own thing,
yeah,
which
so
I didn't really understand because like I watched Loki at least the last episode of Loki season 2. So I was like, how does that isn't Loki like doing time stuff, so no timeline has to be destroyed?
the idea was that before they used to prune people,
Hmm.
and then that's how they would keep timelines just the way they were supposed to, like
They
just
would
continue.
prune the dying timelines.
Yeah, but not
Yes.
anymore because Loki's giving everyone more time.
No, but what they were doing now is that I guess they were killing those anchor people because by
Yeah,
killing
but
those anchor people, that universe tangent will have ceased to exist. But according to this,
why? Like, shouldn't because of Loki doesn't like give it more time? Like the
well,
whole wasn't that the whole thing that Loki sacrificed at the end of season 2?
between Loki season 2 and what's going on here, there
Hmm.
is a communication that was given about stop pruning people or stop pruning universes to start pruning anchor people. And we
Was
don't know
there?
where that conversation is.
When did that happen?
Well, that's the thing. We don't
That for
again.
real?
No, no, no. Well, based on what Chris is saying, that it has to be Loki season 3 because Loki sacrificed himself season 2, but the TVA is still existent, even though Loki is the timekeeper now.
Yeah.
TVA still exists in that timeline. So somewhere between that, Loki had to communicate to the TVA, or the TVA itself was like something happened between what's where we're seeing now in Deadpool and the end of Loki that they're like we're changing the way we keep timelines, changing the way we're viewing timelines for whatever reason. It could be Loki himself who's just killing off these anchor people and the TVA doesn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be a number of things, but between the end of Loki and what's going on now, that's why I was a little confused because I was like, that's isn't that what they usually just do? Prune them to take them to the whatever the edge of the whatever, the edge of time,
Yeah.
but the edge of time still exists. I thought they had destroyed it, but I guess it still exists, which
I
makes
don't
it
know.
seem like
It's
it was
confusing.
before Loki. Either way, it doesn't make sense for him to want to destroy the whole timeline. Why would you want to destroy all
The
of
whole
it?
time. Not the whole timeline, just Deadpool's timeline.
Yeah.
You wanted to destroy Deadpool's timeline. What was the reason for that again? You
Well,
said that he's
because
like the
Because
Logan
you don't want to
died.
stick around just to watch the universe that the universe to actually die because Logan died would take like thousands of years. And he's like,
but
I don't
he
want
just
to do that. I don't want to sit around and watch the universe die slowly. So I'm
but
developing
the
this machine to just prune it.
But why?
no, no, yeah, because the machine that he was
Oh, so
doing
you
was
can
supposed to
so they can
destroy,
hurry it up, It's gonna
but
die
the
anyway.
But
Prune it.
yeah, but wasn't the machine that he was
He's got
making to
other things
destroy
to
all
do.
timelines?
no, it's just the one.
Just his?
Just the
Yeah.
one.
Okay, that's weird. I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Also,
sense.
I mean, that's why Charlie's like, it makes sense. I was like, I don't know if it does. Maybe it makes sense within the movie. I don't know. I don't know. I get confused when they were trying to explain that whole anchor person, but like, oh, the whole reason Deadpool was like, I'm gonna time jump, and then we have a nice little montage of all the Wolverines in the multiverse, which we'll get to. Um, even if he brings them back Logan, it's not his Logan. Like that Logan is dead, right?
Yeah.
So even bringing Logan to that timeline isn't going to do anything.
Well, yeah, Deadpool didn't know that though. That's
But
why I was like
logically, it
throwing
would
out.
make
Yeah,
sense, right?
he was just guessing. It
Yeah.
was just it was just a wish. What does he call it?
Uh, an educated
It
wish.
was like a
Yeah.
yeah, an educated wish.
I made an educated wish. Did you just say an educated wish? That I cracked me up. That show was hilarious. Uh,
Yeah, we want to get into the Wolverines, the Henry Cavill Wolverine.
there's Henry Cavill
I don't know.
Wolverine. There's comic book accurate Wolverine.
Yeah, the he's so short.
Uh, the Wolverine that's like crucified on a giant X. I don't know. I didn't
It's from
catch
a
all of
comic
these
book.
references.
That's from a
Yeah.
comic
Okay.
book.
Well, I
Same
don't
with
know
the
if
eye patch Wolverine with the suit. That was in a comic, apparently.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked all the cameos. I just didn't get all the cameo references of
yeah.
what was going on. But that was a good one. Yeah. Talk about a lot of actors just kind of like a free paycheck to be in this movie. Um uh but I guess yeah, based on that they jump he 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 finds Logan and then what's the problem they need to solve from there? They get pruned, right? I guess.
Yeah, he brings him back to the TVA. He's like, "Hey, here's a Wolverine that can step in for my timeline." And he's like, "Doesn't work that way." And then they get pruned and go to the whatever the wasteland. I don't know what that area is called, but yeah, that area.
I don't know what it's called either.
I know it has a name, but
Yeah, the
yeah,
the off-brand
Mad Max,
Mad Max. Yeah, Mad
which
Max
they
scene.
literally make a like a Mad Max car joke in the movie too. Like,
That's funny. They also did that. I forgot they did that.
and I feel like there we find like the first cameo, like big cameo, which is Chris Evans. Like it's and he's like, "Oh man, he's gonna say it." And it's like he says flame on because it's the Chris Evans from the Fantastic Four,
I
like
was
those
not
movies. Like,
anticipating that at all. Was not
no, it's so
anticipating
good
that at
though.
all. It's so good the way they did
Oh,
that
that's
because we
so
totally
funny.
everybody was like has so disassociated him from that
Yep.
that was funny. Uh, but it was a
It
good
was a
indicator
joke.
of
Like it was a joke when he first casted as Captain America. It's like you either die a hero or you live long enough to become another hero.
um
Um, that was great. Yeah, Deadpool gives him a look because he says like Chris Evans is like, yeah, fat chance, dick for brains or something like that. And like Deadpool's like, that's not Captain America. It was just like thrown off. Which should have been our first like indication, but it's a very subtle like you got to catch it.
yeah, and then as soon as he said Flame On, which is the first major cameo of all of them, it was a good indication of like where the movie was going in hindsight. Um, there are also epivat. I mean, Sabretooth is also introduced in this fight.
And then dies
Classic,
immediately.
and then dies immediately. I was waiting for because before that there was an epic fight battle between Deadpool and Wolverine, and it lasted like fucking 5 minutes of just like going at it, which was pretty cool. And this is where Chris Evans shows up and is like, stop, you're gonna get like caught, and then it very very much looks like Mad Max Fury Road. Uh, but
Yeah.
Sabretooth comes out, and then we're expecting another battle, but Wolverine literally just decapitates this motherfucker. I was like, well, what kind of bullshit is this? This is, I guess. Um, but then this is where we go, and they see apparently there's more villains in here, and then this is we introduce the ultimate antagonist in this movie, I guess, which was who was it? It was
Cassandra Nova, Professor X's sister, twin sister.
which I didn't even know Professor X was a twin in the womb. Um, but apparently she was so bad, or that the timeline saw her so bad that they had to prune her from birth. Um, so they did. They pruned her from Earth. before, I mean, from birth,
Yeah, she's
and
just
from
been
Earth.
living in this wasteland for that long.
But she is quite powerful.
Oh yeah, she's very powerful.
She does this weird, like, non-consensual hand thing between everybody's like brain, which
Oh
is
yeah,
weird.
oh.
I felt that every time she did it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it felt
so
weird.
personal and
I
then
mean, it was cool to look at, but it just felt weird. I was like,
non-consensual.
oh, well, she just like stuck her hand in your head and was like, I'm not asking for permission. I'm just kind of gonna go through your head here real quick. I was like, all right, cool. Um, but it was very, very aggressive. Uh, so it's here that they're trying to like I guess figure out how to get back home
Yeah.
from the situation. Um, and then this is where one of the funny things happens where like Deadpool is just like trying to save himself, so he like completely throws uh Chris Evans under the bus and tells her that he's doing all the like she called all these names and stuff or whatever. And then he
I
gets
mean, he
completely
technically did,
skinned
right?
alive. Yeah. I mean, later in the after credit scenes, it's proved that he did say all that, which is pretty funny.
Which I
Uh,
don't think we needed that scene,
we didn't
but
need that scene, but it was pretty funny. Like it's like I'm gonna prove that I didn't just make this up. But he gets skinned. It's like a weird skin pull
yeah,
that
pull his
also is
skin and
like
then everything just
grotesque.
collapse.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like gory as hell. Um, I don't even remember how they got. How did they get out of that? They like did they just run? How did they escape Goliath? They just run? They miss? Are they fighting? I forgot how they got
Uh,
away.
Uh, they like, oh shit, I forgot.
I
Like
don't
threw
know.
themselves.
Oh, was it like a rocket or something?
Yeah, it like he like kicked up a rocket, like a foot rocket, and they just rolled that to whatever. Remember,
And
he
then
was like,
they get
"Hurry
in,
up, or else you're gonna be left behind." And I was like, "Don't leave me behind."
and then they get into a minivan and drive away. And then
Yeah, and they run into like the nice Deadpool.
Yeah,
yeah,
he gives him the minivan.
with the dog.
Yeah.
But this dog is
Yeah.
the that's a real dog, by the way. This
Yep.
ugly dog is just like a real dog.
Wasn't his
Bad
tongue
as well.
CGI'd?
No,
Was
that's
it?
his tongue.
I don't
This
think.
is
I
his
think
real
the
thing.
tongue was CGI'd or fake.
Hmm.
I hope it wasn't. But they get in the minivan, they're driving away or whatever, and then this leads to another fight scene between them two that just goes on. They're just trying to kill each other so bad.
But they
Um,
can't.
they can't kill each other, right? That's the irony of it. Is like none of these two
Yeah.
could die. Uh,
That's why I
which is
thought
pretty
the
funny.
characters played off each other pretty well because they would like number one fight all the time, and number two just keep fighting until they're tired because I mean, they can't die, right?
Just inflicting the
So
most pain possible.
yeah, it was just
Mhm.
the fact that they had like one, two, how many fights did they have? One, two, three,
They had like four
three
fights.
Two?
fights with each other.
Two or three?
It's like when they first met, and then in the desert, and then in the minivan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after that long just fight scene, there is uh
That's when they get picked up by the other like
by the next cameo.
survivors. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see Elektra, Blade, Wesley Snipes Blade, Channing Tatum's Gambit, and what was X-23 Laura from Logan? She's in there
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
There's only one blade. Um
Yeah. Honestly, he took me
yeah.
by he took me by surprise more than Gambit did.
These cameos
Uh,
that were just revealed are so
when
awesome though,
yeah.
because they were like slow motion walk in. It's like, who brought you here? I was like, they wake up and it's like Electra walks over. They're like, no way, it's Electra. And then like Wesley Snipes walk in, and we're like, no way, Blade. And then here's
I was like, bro, is
fucking,
that Wesley Snipes? No way.
and then last but not least, I was like, Channing fucking Tatum. Why is he in this?
Yeah, like he
Isn't that
was.
because he was supposed to be
Yep.
Gambit,
It
and then
was
they just
like,
cut that project off after the
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
bought Fox?
It
Yeah.
felt like a very like kind of like The Rock and the Black Adam, like a thing that they wanted to
yeah,
do for years, but it just never came to be. So
yeah,
that's not even the thing that actually happened in the thing. So it's cool that like one last like suit up for him, you know?
yeah. Like one last suit up, but I don't know if they told him to act it that way, or if that's how what we were gonna get was what we were gonna
That would
get.
have been wild if that
It
was
was
where,
like
I
yeah.
was also
he
I was
know
also
he's
asking myself that
Cajun.
question.
Like I know he's Cajun or something, but this man was speaking like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Like I want to get
Oh,
the
I'm about to make a
subtitle
name for
version of this.
myself.
Yeah. But I want to get the subtitle. I want to get the closed caption for this movie when it comes out because I'm pretty sure it's gonna say like gibberish. Because even Deadpool is like, I don't know what I'm trying to pick up what you're saying. I'm pretty sure you're saying some important things to the plot here, but
Yeah.
not understanding what you're saying. Um, and of course X-23. Everybody's like, oh look, she survived. She's all grown up. So this becomes like the super like team. I guess they were who were they saying they wanted? They wanted Magneto. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Magneto. It's like,
He
oh, no
died.
way, Magneto. It's like, nah, he died. He's like, motherfucker. It's like shit. But basically,
He didn't
if you're too
he
young
didn't
to
die. He was at the end of X-Men
he
3
moved, yeah, he moved it a
and
little
he
bit,
moved the chess
yeah.
piece and it just never came back.
Uh, but if you're too young to get these references, back in the early when Marvel was still like trying to do be what it is now, the Goliath that it is now. Man, we had like, we just really had I didn't even know they were Marvel movies. I didn't even know they were like superhero movies because, Blade, I was like, I don't know what Blade is. This is a vampire movie. I really thought it was a vampire movie. I didn't realize until much, much later that Blade was a Marvel character. Elektra came out and
Well, that was Lustra was like already with Daredevil first,
right.
and then she
Hmm.
had her own movie.
Well, she had her own movie, but it just didn't bring the attention people thought it was going to
I mean,
bring.
it was a bad movie.
It was a
I
pretty bad
mean,
movie.
Really bad. It was really bad.
I mean, it,
What,
so
you're gonna defend Elektra?
I just, you know what, man, it's
You're an Electro fan now?
no,
Even in this
I,
movie, like everyone's like using their powers and stuff. Elektra's like, I have knives.
I have, she has daggers, just like Raphael from the Ninja
And
Turtles. Okay, she
Yeah,
has
but when Gambit
daggers,
is like exploding people and then she's just stabbing people, it's not
but
exactly
she's stabbing
exciting.
them, she's getting them. And I was just like, I don't know. I really felt lost with the Gambit one. I was like, did he? Did he even come out in one of the X-Men movies? I couldn't even
Yeah, that's why I
remember.
was like a super D
I was like,
cut.
I have no what's going on. I was like, I missed
yeah,
something
wasn't he
here.
in like
No, he
well, it
wasn't in
wasn't
any of
him in
these.
that. It wasn't
It
him in
was
that
it was
one
a different
particular
actor who
movie,
played.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, it's
different
like
It
actor,
was
but I couldn't
X-Men
remember.
Origins Wolverine.
But
It
I
was a
was
different
like,
yeah.
was
actor.
he in it? I was like, I can't remember. But I'm
No.
glad that they give him the classic comic book character, get up
Hmm.
and pretty much everything that goes along with it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, even like Wolverine's like his yellow looks pretty good in this.
Yeah, it
Like
looks pretty spot
sometimes it
on.
like the super comic booky outfits look kind of cheesy in live action, but the
Mhm.
the sleeveless yellow looks good on him. The him with the mask though, that looks kind of silly, I thought.
Yeah, no, towards the end, I was like, man, they used a lot of money on this budget. I was telling Charlie, I was like, man, that last CGI towards that last fight just looks super, super cartoony.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Like
into
they
But
that
just
as
really
well.
but
gave
what
it
did
up
you
to
think
that.
what did you think when he first put it on though?
When he first put it on, I thought it was pretty good. I was like, all right, you're standing. It's pretty awesome. I finally
Even
get
with
to
the
see.
eyes.
Yeah, I was expecting the eyes. I was expecting the eyes to be that. I didn't expect it to be Batman eyes. I expected it to be like Spider-Man eyes. Because when they did that with Spider-Man, I was really everybody enjoyed it. Like Spider-Man squinting, even though it's a fucking mask and it also squints. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we were like, oh, that's cool because it's like it's giving facial like cues where normally you wouldn't be able to see it because it's a mask. But the overall white, I thought was pretty cool, even though it's kind of weird because it's just a mask. So you'll be able
Hmm.
to see it. You should be able to see his eyes. But I liked it. I don't know. What about you guys? Did you enjoy that?
Um, it was like I don't know. Half of me was like, "This is super cool," and the other half is like, "It kind of looks, you
Dumb.
know, um,
Yeah.
like not cartoony. It looks cosplay. I want to say
Hmm.
looks like he's doing cosplay as opposed to just like it's a costume."
Especially like later on after that fight, like it just looks, yeah. I mean, we'll get into that end scene. But yeah, so the the rejects or whatever the team that they have, they go and they fight
Just call them rejects.
the ones that are left, that this is all we got for our team. And they have to like go back to Cassandra Kane and then fire again. And then like they all get like, I mean, some of them, I feel like Blade, like Wesley Snipe is pretty old now, so like he's doing his best, but like
He's doing his best.
yeah, he was cutting people up. Channing Tatum was blowing people up. Yeah, it was a decent fight scene. Well, Wolverine and Deadpool are fighting Cassandra Kane and then using like whatever the Juggernaut helmet to. I know we didn't really mention this, but like a lot of the X-Men characters from those movies are just villains in this who are fighting with Cassandra Kane. Like Pyro, you guys remember Pyro from
No, I don't
X2?
remember Pyro. No, no.
And
A lot
then
of these people I didn't
Nightcrawler,
Pyro
understand.
from yes, I do remember Pyro from
yeah, like he
X-Men.
was a dick with Iceman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, he got old.
I
Oh
mean, it's been
Jesus,
like
not
20
that old.
years
I'm
since
sorry, Pyro.
X2.
I'm sorry, Pyro. I don't mean to be like you got old. Like I'm just saying
Damn, sorry,
it's been a
sorry.
long time. Yeah, I remember this guy. He had like firefighter. Not firefighter. He had like a lighter. Yeah,
Yeah.
on him. Yeah, I remember he used to use a lighter, and then he got like the upgrade. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, he was in First Class, right? Or was he in that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that.
But yeah, yeah, all those characters came back. I will say the Colossus, I feel like they kind of just like copy paste him in of his scenes. Like he didn't even look like a real character. Like seemed bad classic stuff. But yeah, they fight Cassandra Kane. Pretty fun fight, I guess. And then they put the helmet on her, and then she's like, "I'll help you out" or whatever.
I'll
I
help
would
you
not have
out
chosen
or
to do that.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then they end up at oh yeah, they end up with fighting all the yeah, they go through the dimensions and then she gets mad and then she wants the machine for herself to destroy all the universes and then they fight all the Deadpools. Which
There's a bunch of cameos in there as well. Nathan Fillion plays Headpool, the one like the floating head. Matt
oh really?
McConaughey plays
Oh, I think I
Cowboy
knew that.
Pool, the cowboy
Yep.
one, obviously. Um, yeah, I
Blake
think
Lively
those.
plays
Yeah,
Lady
the
Pool.
lady pool. Yep.
They
Yep.
actually have a Liverpool like soccer player play
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Liverpool Deadpool.
Hmm.
So these are actual credited like people. Like two of it, like his younger son played Baby Pool, and his like other son played Kid Pool or something like that, where they're actually credited with these like cameos.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, they're getting residuals off of this. Uh, yeah, but then he does like this weird speech of like I don't know, calling out everything. Where it's like, can we just be over this? Like done with the whole multiverse thing? Which I assume this is the end of it, but I don't know. It doesn't seem
I
like
feel
it
like
is.
I don't think
I think it
so.
will cap off at Secret Wars,
No, I
but
think well, I think there's also
well,
like
they
a
literally need to
deviation.
bring in Doctor Doom and the
Yeah, I was
Fantastic
like, there
Four
has
and
to be
X-Men.
there has to be a timeline.
Plus,
There has
Secret
to be a
Wars is
timeline
literally
deviate.
all the timelines coming together in the comics, at
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
So,
So that's why I was like, well, it's not over because Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom. I was like, there's got to be a timeline where
yeah,
Iron Man turns evil or some shit and he becomes Doctor Doom. Like I already like it's pretty like you could see it coming what the writing's gonna be. How they go about it, I don't know, but you could it's a
yeah.
pretty dead giveaway of
Isn't that a real timeline though?
where Iron
Isn't there a
Man becomes
timeline
Doctor
where
Doom.
yeah.
I don't
I think it
think
was a
so.
what if story comic.
Was it? It might have
Yeah.
been. I
I
don't know.
mean, it doesn't really matter because the MCU doesn't really follow the
Yeah, it doesn't
comics.
really kind of follow the
They like
comics. I mean,
they
they
do their
tried
own
to.
version of the stories.
Yeah.
Because like Civil War was vastly different than what we got in the movies. But
Yeah,
yeah, what do you guys think of that last like Deadpool's fight?
I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was
I thought it
necessary.
was
I
like a sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like it was just extra runtime because the way it ends
Hmm.
is dumb, stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it falls flat. They like bust through the bus. They do the bus stuff. Like the fighting is cool, like sure, whatever. Um I bet the only good part was that like nice Deadpool guy. He gets shot and he's like, how long is it gonna take to regenerate? And he's like, regenerate? What are you talking about? Um, that part cracked me up.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, was the fight necessary? It just kind of lands flat because it ends with like, what's his name? Peter or whatever
Peter
his name
Pool.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, you have a Peter? Oh my God, Peter! Hey, like, and then it's just like, that's it? Okay,
Yeah, it goes
sure.
on the fight goes on for way too long, like a lot of things in this movie. And then it just kind of ends. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, we literally can't kill any of these people. And then it's like, oh, here's Peter. Cool.
Yeah.
And then they like sneak past, like, okay, sure. That was pointless.
Yeah, it just kind of there's so much build up towards it, and then it just doesn't end satisfying. Not only do all the other Deadpools, just except for like nice Deadpool, doesn't have regeneration power, but then it's like let's completely forget about the fight because apparently everybody has this person in their universe exactly the same. Peter must be like a omnipresent person amongst all these timelines because it's like everybody knows Peter and everybody's okay with Peter. Like, I guess that works. I would want to see that movie. Why is Peter like God to Deadpool? To all these dead people. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get distracted by that fairly easy, and then they go and they try to kill the timeline or the timeline machine. Um, but then uh, Xavier's sister comes. She's like, I'm gonna do this, and then she's like going to destroy everything for some reason. Because she also wants to kill the world because the world killed her. I don't really understand her motivation. Um, although I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they fleshed it
I assume
out.
it's something like that, right? Because
Yeah,
she was thrown away, so
Yeah,
she
she was
wants to
thrown
throw the
away.
trash
world
all their
away. Like, yeah, something
universes.
like that.
Oh,
So
and she wanted revenge on like, yeah, she wanted revenge on Mr. Paradox or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that tracks. Um, I just I didn't care for her character as much. Because I didn't by the time we realized that she's the person they need to stop, the entire movie is focused on, I guess, something else. Like I don't really know what the movie's focused on until we get to that part, other than them getting home and killing Paradox, I guess. That's the main point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, is Paradox a villain? Sort like yes, but
With a name
also
like Paradox, I thought he was gonna have like powers or something,
yeah,
but he's
yeah,
just like a regular
nothing.
person.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then
cool.
they like go to like the power room or something to like connect the thing, the cables, and then like they use their strength together to ice short the
Short
thing.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. But
And then
Yep.
they
we
take the
see
time to
Wolverine
like, yeah,
without a shirt
Wolverine without
on.
a
Like
shirt
he's
on.
ripped still.
Apparently that's
Man,
not
Hugh
CGI.
Jackman.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman, you know what
I
I'm
don't know
saying?
how
His
many movies he
cum
can do. You know,
gutters.
he's pretty old, right? Like
I mean,
I mean, they
steroids will
make a
do
joke
that to
about it.
you.
yeah.
Deadpool's like, they're gonna have you do this till you're 90.
Till you're 90. But yeah, hats off. I mean, that takes work. You gotta, it wasn't CGI apparently, so he just needed it to look good for that one scene.
Yeah.
He could go back to eating cheeseburgers or whatever. That's hard to maintain. I mean, especially at that
hmm
age. Um, so they
But yeah,
survive.
that was like the mask part. That was like, yeah, I don't know if this is really working here. Or it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, look kind of silly in that scene.
So they survive. They kill Xavier's sister, and the machine is broken. Uh, and then they survive. TVA comes, is like, Paradox, you were doing this illegally. We're going to arrest you, because I guess nobody else knew that they were running these experiments or whatever. But they do now. Um, and then that's it, right? After that, they have a nice warm talk about I don't know what, and then they just kind of go their own separate
Yeah,
ways.
they go back. No, they go back to like Deadpool's house or whatever, and they have a party with all
Oh
his
yeah, they have a
friends,
party,
which I
yeah, with all his
definitely remembered
friends.
all those characters.
Yeah, it's like,
Some were irrelevant as hell.
Yeah. It's like, oh, is Cable coming back? No. What
No,
what
no.
about that? Yeah,
It's like that
just
like one teenager lady.
yep. And then Colossus was
Yeah.
there,
And then
sort of.
Colossus is just sitting there.
no talking.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't. But his driver was there. I had forgot how much like not connected to the other two I was compared to this one. Um, but that's at the end. They're just like, good times. Um, and that was it. Uh, that was the end of the movie.
And
Again,
a
I
life
again, I
lesson. And a nice lesson at the end.
what was the life lesson?
That without your people, without your universe doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an Avenger. You just have to protect your little snippet of the universe,
That's a dumb.
aka your people.
Do you buy
Okay,
that Deadpool
no,
gives a
I
shit
don't.
about any of these
Uh,
people? Really?
maybe he does. Maybe he's a different Deadpool. I
I
don't
do.
know.
I like from the other movies, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
his girlfriend definitely, right?
Oh
It's not
yeah.
his girlfriend. It's not his
They're
girlfriend.
not yeah, not
They're not
together anymore.
together.
Oh, okay, never mind. That girl definitely, right?
uh
But also X-23 is like still there somehow.
yeah,
Because
she
like she's
stayed
at the end
there.
too.
She survived the big fight.
I
She
guess.
survived Goliath and now is here somehow. But she's the only one who survived because Elektra isn't there, Blade isn't there, Gambit isn't there. They all died. Their
I'm about
stories
to make a
we
name
could
for
put
myself.
their stories could be put to rest thanks to Fox. But X-23, we still need her for like Young Avengers or some shit. I don't know. So she needs to
I
survive.
mean, you say that, but maybe.
I'm just saying, right? It's
That
X-Force or
sounds like a
some
real
shit.
possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does make sense. So it makes sense that she's there. I was like, why is she the only one there? I was like, I guess because it's his daughter. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it's
It's like
not his
whatever.
daughter.
Well, like not biologically, but like
I mean,
fraternally or something. I don't know. I mean, he
sort
did
of.
take care of her
It's
for
not
a whole
even.
movie. This
Yeah,
this
but it's
this
not that
this girl
Wolverine.
didn't
That
speak
Wolverine
no
did it.
more than like 12 fucking words the entire movie.
Yeah, but that was a
Still
different
a better movie
Wolverine.
than
That
Avatar.
Wolverine's dead.
That's true. But she like there was a little thing where she was like,
Yeah.
you're always angry or whatever. You're still you. It's like, oh, you're still whatever. Um,
Yeah. I'm not the right person. You never were.
Yep.
you never were. You never took me to the store, aisle 13, but I still managed. The only other thing that I have like that's like lingering is that they show the future of his timeline in the beginning, and it's like Thor crying over him. And
Apparently that was just a fun thing. Like, there's no future implications. They're just like,
There's
hey,
no actual real.
what if we just have Thor crying over Deadpool? So I guess that's like on Kevin Feige if he feels like that's canon or not, kind of
that's
thing.
just a big FU. That's just a big FU to everybody. If that doesn't lead anywhere. Uh,
Well, I guess on that note, does Deadpool work as like not even as Avenger, but like in those movies? I feel like he's too like goofy and like fourth wall breaking to fit in those movies. At
I
least
don't
that's
think
what
he
I think.
would. I don't think he would. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not even a hero. He's more like an anti-villain
Yeah.
or anti-hero, sorry. He's more of an anti-hero where he's not a villain, but he does nice things out of circumstance, kind of like Venom.
Yeah.
Venom is now an anti-hero, or is just like the symbiote is a bad thing, but the host isn't bad, so he'll just kill bad people. Like, it's a weird gray area. But I just think he's just too flamboyant to be part of the Avengers. And you imagine him and Tony Stark just talking? That's
Yeah.
it's
I
gotta be
don't.
different.
Maybe he'll be like a Stan Lee kind of cameo from now on. Like he'll just be in the background of the movies or something.
Oh, just like there's a dimension portal
Yeah.
that opens up. He jumps through, says something, and jumps again, jumps through
Hmm.
Like,
again, or some shit
oh,
like that. Yeah.
sorry, I'm in the wrong timeline. But good luck with what you're doing. He's just gonna jump back.
Yeah.
Which Doctor Strange also makes a cameo in this movie, but he's dead. Um, uh, which was a very subtle, like this is how you get back. There was a wizard here who ended up just like, what did you say? Just killing. I was like, you just killed Doctor Strange just like that. Like he kept his little slingy. That's rude. Disrespect to Doctor Strange.
I mean, she probably killed Ant-Man as well, right?
Yeah, she killed Giant Ant Man or whatever.
Hmm.
They didn't even clean out his system. It's just living in a skull. That's creepy. Because she can remove it. You know what I'm saying? Like she could like snap her fingers and it'll just pulverize, but she's like, nope, keeping the skeleton as is, bone
That
marrow
was
and
creepy.
everything.
Felt bad
So
for
it
Ant
just
Man.
it just doesn't really make sense.
I mean, there's
Uh,
not really like wood or construction materials. So I guess a skull is the best thing you got, right? If
I
you want to
guess.
hide
I
out.
mean, I don't know. I don't know. Just like she's like an Omega level mutant.
Hmm.
She could literally manipulate matter. You would think she could make a tent or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
if you're a
Like,
cool villain, would
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
but
want a
it's
guess if
not
you're a
tent
cool,
or
yeah,
a
no, if you're a cool
skull?
villain, yeah, exactly. No, you're right. You're right. If you're a
it's not
cool villain,
about
fuck it, you know?
it's not about shelter. It's about making a statement.
Yeah.
uh, anything else?
Yeah, I saw that Ryan Reynolds wanted to make like this be like a secret movie, like not tell anyone, like a fake movie kind of thing, where it called Alpha Cop, starring him and Hugh Jackman, were just like playing as cops, and they were gonna release that like 5 minutes of that movie, and then the rest of it would just be this movie.
Oh,
That shit
really?
would have been that would have been something else.
I feel like it wouldn't work this day and age. I feel like that would have leaked, but like if that would happen,
I
that would have been
mean, to tell
awesome.
you the truth, none of the cameos leaked. Nobody knew.
I feel
They
like
did a
Electra.
fair.
I feel like I heard Electra before.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of it. I actually read an article saying like, oh, the lengths that Deadpool took to keep cameos secret. I was like, I didn't expect any of those.
I mean, they did a great
Caval,
job. Yeah.
Blade, Channing Tatum. I did not expect any of these
Yep.
to pop out the way they did. I was like, holy crap, that is wild. Um,
Even like Chris Evans,
yeah, even Chris Evans. I was like, oh my
that's a big
gosh,
one. Yeah.
not as Captain America, which makes it funnier. I mean, I had no idea. So whatever they did, it was good. But I imagine if they wanted to do that, like you said, Chris, back in the day, it would have been a little easier. But I assume it wasn't necessarily about the leak, but it was more so about the marketing
Yeah.
money that they would have like, imagine having to market a movie to for people to go see this movie and making them think it has nothing to do. Like nobody's gonna go watch this movie. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like you're
Nobody's
not
gonna go
gonna
watch this
get
movie,
all
and
the
then
screenings
the
in like
people who
Dolby
do,
for
yeah,
this.
the people who do see it is like, what the fuck? And then you're just like walking out, and then all of a sudden you get a great publicity, right?
Yep.
And that marketing it works itself, but you've already spent X amount of money on the marketing for a movie that doesn't exist. Um, and you don't know if that's gonna pay off. Like you don't know if
Exactly.
that payoff is gonna be what you need it to be.
Like
Um,
awesome idea, but I don't know
yeah. In
how well it would
retrospect, it
work.
probably would have worked, but
Hmm.
It would have
right
worked in
because
the 2000s.
well, I just meant like seeing the box office hit and the popularity it is. It would have sucked. It would have hit, right? It
Yeah.
would have made a lot of money, as much money now, probably, maybe more. I don't know about more, but definitely as much as it's made now. Um, but that's a big risk in this day and age. Like, so I think yeah, I think they did it well. I think they hit those cameos very well. Um, and it worked out. Worked out.
Yeah. Just for context, right now it made 85 um 850 million and with a 200 million budget. So it's doing really well. And
I mean,
that's
it's not
like
bad.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Which I'm curious, like this is doing like super well. Is that because like is the MCU back or does Brave New World come out and then people don't care again? Like, do people care about this because it's Deadpool and Wolverine, like bringing these characters back? Or is it like, oh, do people like want more MCU again? You know?
I don't
Because
think
before
so.
this, the MCU, even like the Marvels, I don't think that made some money back at all. Like that one did pretty
No.
poorly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how people like excited again for Agatha all along. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think the name in itself helped a lot.
Yeah.
That it was just Deadpool. Did everybody want to see Deadpool Wolverine? I don't think so. I think the combination of these two characters was like Wolverine was loved from the like, Wolverine was what what I guess Wonder Woman was the DC. Like for a long time, anybody who watched anything relating to Fox, Wolverine, Logan had to be part of it. Like he had to be part of it in order for it to be a selling point. And as much as the public loved the beloved character that was Wolverine, Fox never did the character justice. And I think that's what everybody was kind of like PO'd about. It was like, we just want to see the cartoon version on a movie. That's all we want to see, right? But there was like black suits and just like bike Wolverine, and then we got a little bit with the hair, right? He got the hair. We're like, all right, are we gonna see like what's going on? And we just never got it, right? So I feel like the
Jeans, tank
general,
top, and the hair.
yeah,
Yep.
but nothing else. So I feel like there was resentment that was built up there. So when they put Deadpool Wolverine, knowing the last two Deadpools, how Deadpool was received overall, like not giving a fuck and just being out there and raunchy, they're like, oh, we're gonna put these two together because I don't think anybody asked for this very specific particular movie. I don't think anybody ever asked for it.
Well, especially
Um,
like how Logan ended. Like,
right,
I feel
because
like
then
most
Logan,
people thought that was like a great send off to the character, and they didn't
yeah,
really need more.
yeah, because Logan ended like Logan, that was it.
Yep.
But as all the memes are coming out, like that death no longer means anything. That final resting goodbye now seems wasteful because now he's back.
I
Like this
mean,
is now canon. Like now the character is back. It may not be the same, but the character is now alive within whatever they want to do with the character. He's now back.
couldn't we say the same thing about them recasting Robert Downey Jr. as a
Yeah, it's the
character?
same. It's the same thing. It
Like, I
just
know, like,
doesn't.
this is in the comics, like, characters die and come back all the time, but I feel like it's a little different in movie form, like almost a little too soon for at least Robert Downey Jr., at least for me. Like, that's how I felt when that announcement came.
Yeah,
But I also, like, I saw the potential, like, oh, what if Peter Parker sees Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr., like that would be a good like dramatic scene. So like I see the potential there, but it also felt like, are we just doing this for money because the MCU's not kind of like floundering right now? Like, I don't know. That's a cynical
Doing it
take,
just
but
to
yeah.
doing it just to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with like bringing the Russo brothers back for the next two Avengers movies. Like, okay, we're doing this again, doing the playing the hits, which can be both good and bad, but we'll see.
yeah, yeah. So to kind of go full circle with your question, I don't think. Yeah, I don't necessarily think this is a revival in like the interest in the Marvel again. I think this was a one off. I really think
Hmm.
they're like, yeah, we want to see this. It was a good thing. Will that will the continuation of that like momentum carry over to the next like project? I don't think so, but I think there'll be enough people to say I will give it a shot as opposed to prior to this movie coming out where they were like, we don't I don't, I'm indifferent about continuing watching certain things of Marvel related. At least now you might convince some people to give it another shot, but I don't think the entire hype is, if anything, people are more interested in the fact that Robert Downey Jr. came back as Doctor Doom, and they're more anxious and waiting for that as opposed to whatever's happening between the end of Deadpool and the beginning of whatever Doctor Doom is going to star in. You know what I mean? Like everything in between just kind of seems like, all right, we're just waiting for the next thing at this point. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, or I'm not going to be go out of my way to be involved in it. Like,
Yeah. We
I don't
have
know.
go ahead.
Agatha might be a, I don't have my hopes up, but might be a hit. I don't know.
A
Like
hit? I don't know.
one of those random like off, like, oh, it's actually
Well,
really good and you should watch it. Like just a random hit, like just like shot in the dark random hit. I feel
yeah,
like
it might be.
Brave New World might get some traction just because of the Red Hulk, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what's
But
driving
yeah, but
people.
to answer your original question is like, I don't think the MCU is back. I think it was just like people just like the Deadpool movies because of like the shtick of like breaking the fourth wall and making all these funny jokes and like, Wolverine's a huge selling point. I mean, I don't know if he takes, I don't know if it's 50-50 in terms of the selling point, but like just having Wolverine and Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine is just like in itself a reason to go watch it, right? Um, but but this is very specific to the Deadpool movies. Like this whole shtick is very specific to the Deadpool movies. Is Agatha gonna break the fourth wall? Oh, I don't
I mean, she
know.
already
Is
And
it
has,
she
gonna
sort
so
of,
be?
yeah.
she already
Yeah,
has.
yeah. But is
Well,
it
I guess
gonna
it
be
sounds
as
the
funny
same
as
way. Yeah.
Deadpool? Yeah, is it gonna
Yeah.
be funny as Deadpool, or is it gonna be more like Disney jokes? Like, oh, that's gonna hurt, right? Like those kind of jokes. And then it's Brave New World actually gonna be good, or is it just gonna be like the fight scene between them is gonna be good, and then everything else, like the rest of the story kind of just sucks.
Yeah, we know there was a
Um,
lot of production issues. Like the main villain of the movie was literally not in the movie until the reshoots happened. So that's kind of worrying.
yeah. So
And
that doesn't like,
yeah.
make me feel confident at all about the movie, right?
And then after
Um,
that we have the Thunderbolts, essentially like Marvel Suicide Squad with all our favorites, like Black Widow, Florence Pugh, Black Widow, um, Captain Russia,
I'm not
Taskmasker.
excited about that at
Yeah, like
all.
that
That's
one,
not
like, oh,
that shit should not even. I don't
sounds like
know.
Black Widow 2.
it sounds like the rejects from the movies that
And it might be good.
Yeah.
I just I'm
And
not.
then it's
There's
like,
no excitement
and
behind
I
it.
just
There's
feel
yeah.
no
like it's,
want behind it.
yeah. And I just feel like it's gonna be a bunch of cynical people, right? Like, no offense, Chris, but the Chris of the world, right? Chris's of the world that just skip all these things. And then um you're not gonna tune in until like Secret Wars, Doctor
Well, I
Doom
mean,
timeline starts,
give
right? Unless you just
give
don't give a shit anymore, Chris, and I'm just completely off base here. Um
I mean, I'm here till the end just because we have to do these. It's in my contract, you
right,
know.
we have to.
to my
Yeah, it's in our
contract. I have to
contract.
do these things.
Yeah, but if we weren't doing these, Chris, would you give a shit at all
I
until the Doctor Doom timeline?
I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't really care for a lot of these. Like Thunderbolts for sure would not, or I definitely wouldn't watch any of the shows anymore just because do we need a White Vision show? No. He, like we're gonna see Vision die again. I'm good. But I would probably watch Fantastic Four just because like well,
Well,
third time's the
spoiler alert,
charm.
he
Will they get
dies.
it right this time? We'll see.
No, it's got to be the fourth time. They got to get it right the fourth time.
I mean,
They got it right the
they can
first
always reboot it
time.
in Secret Wars, you know.
You guys didn't like the Chris Evans Fantastic Four?
With Cloud Galactus. No.
Yeah, well, Jessica Alba. No, that's good. Um, but I think credit to Marvel that they've done such a good job on the foundation that even if I mean you at least for me is like I even if I have no desire to watch these, I will watch these because of continuity and you know like you needed to watch this in order to understand this, and it's like okay, well I didn't watch that, so now I'm kind of lost. I'm gonna have to go back, which I would have just watched it when it came out, then it would have been fine, for what it was. But like like you said, Charlie, Agatha might be a hit, and it might be a hit for some people, it might be not a hit for other. I mean, I liked Hawkeye, but
I did too.
it wasn't well received. Like generally speaking, it wasn't well received. People didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, it's a good series, and I was hoping for season two, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Um, but I like that. Loki just was universally well received. Um, I didn't necessarily like Captain America's. What is it? Captain America,
Um, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily like it, but I liked the I like the I guess the risk that they took with that, right? Because you need to understand, like, they're trying to spend a decade for us to love these characters, and now it's time for them to say goodbye. You have to do a really, really hard job to get the next generation in because they still need to perform these things. They still need to carry on the story. So I could understand the risk and I appreciate it, but I was watching, I was like, okay, I can understand where the hate comes from, but still giving it a chance to watch it, right? And moving forward, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be like, okay, well, I'll watch this because I'm invested in it, but hopefully one or two shows will be good. I mean, I don't know who here watched Echo.
Oh, we did
Okay.
all of it.
Yep, we did.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Caught up
Watch
on
watched two
everything.
She-Hulk.
episodes.
Caught up. I've seen
Watch
everything. I've seen
She-Hulk.
everything. Yep.
Moon Knight.
Watched two episodes of
What
those.
If season two.
Watched two
Yep. All of it.
episodes.
Uh, you know, uh, yeah, we watched all the Marvels. We watched Miss Marvel. We watched the Marvels,
The Eternals,
the
Black Widow.
Eternals, Black Widow. So like, you know, as much as we were just like, man, I was like, well, we're still watching. We're still invested, and you bet your butt that we're gonna go see whatever Marvel hangs out just to watch the last 2 minutes of the after credit scene because that's what's gonna be tied in to the next movie. Right? The movie itself isn't gonna do much other than do the movie and then set up for another thing. Which, by the way, there's still a lot that we are missing. Shang-Chi is still out there. The Eternals are still out there. There's a fucking giant in the middle of the Arctic motherfucking ocean that is
They
still out there.
in the Brave New World trailer, they talk
Uh,
about that.
okay,
That
well,
that's how they get adamantium in the MCU
okay,
from the
okay.
Eternal that's been in the ocean for like
That's been
five
in the
years
ocean for
now.
fucking 5 years. Yeah, there's just like a
And
lot of
no one has talked about it
characters
since.
and a lot of just shit that hasn't been
Uh,
tied together yet.
well,
So
I wonder, I feel like with the limited movies we have left, I don't know if we're getting a lot of those answers. Like
I
Hercules
just
from Thor 4, right? Love and Thunder. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get him.
I don't think we're gonna get him. We're not gonna get Blade from the Eternals end
Yeah. Well,
scene.
I
We're
mean,
not gonna get
he's
that.
supposed to have his own movie, but that
All
seems
right.
like in
We'll see
production
where that
hell.
goes. Yeah. We're not going to get
Because like
uh
Eternal set up like a bunch of stuff too, right?
Eternals sent a bunch of stuff that's just not going
Which we won't
anywhere.
we're not gonna get.
Shang-Chi, we don't know where these rings are, but apparently the Avengers know Shang-Chi, right? Because they're all talking about it. At the
Yeah.
end credit scene, they're like, oh, these 10 rings originated from somewhere out of space. And they're all talking to one another. And that's where we leave it. I was like, all right, cool. Does that have to do something with the Marvels and their like ring
Oh
hubris
yeah, yeah.
thing? Like, what is going, there's just like so much stuff that's just left in the air and it's just not going to get answered. I feel like it's just gonna be just like F it, just move on, right?
I mean,
It took
if
it
they're
took
doing like the Secret
almost
Wars with the comics, then yes, all this stuff will
I mean
probably just be
it took
wiped clean.
it took more than 5 years to get a response to the end credit scene of Doctor Strange Part 2.
Did we even get one?
Yeah, remember the
Because there's
guy
that
at the
like
end of
lady, right? That he sees, the other magician
there's
lady.
also another magician, right? There's just even with phase one, there's just shit that hasn't been resolved. So I just like whatever, I guess. Like it doesn't make sense, but sure, whatever. I mean, we had to get it. It's fine. It's
Oh, that
fine.
one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like
So like
Mortal
the
is gonna
third eye or
come,
whatever.
Mordock or the Third Eye. Like I don't know what's going on. Like
Is that what it
it's
looks like? It looks so bad.
yeah. But even Doctor
Do you
Strange
not see
one.
it?
No, I did. I just see it in the picture again. It's like, man, that looks terrible.
But
Looks
even Doc,
awful.
even the end credit of Doctor Strange one, we didn't even get a follow up to that. We had to get a multiverse follow up to that. Like it had been so far removed that I don't know if somebody was like, we need to bring back this person because he's supposed to be the villain, in case everybody forgot.
speaking of characters that we'll probably never see again,
No.
American Chavez, the character
I
who could
get, yeah,
literally
another
go
one.
to any universe
American Chavez.
ever.
What is going on with that? I don't know.
She's gone. She's training or whatever. We'll never see her. Another one, Gaia from
they're gonna
Secret
do the thing
Invasion.
where it's like, why do we get America? I was like, oh, she's off. She's off dimension. Or she's like out of the
She's
dimension.
off the
She's handling
reservation.
some other. Yeah.
Another one, Gaia from Secret Invasion. The character, literally the strongest character in the universe right now. She has like all the powers.
Oh,
Come on, we watched this
that's
show.
silly.
I
Yeah,
That's
watched this entire
silly.
show.
from
This show is
the
terrible.
Secret Invasion.
That's
Yeah.
silly.
Remember the
That's
Drax
super
arm?
silly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, she's not coming out anymore. She's dead somehow. The most powerful being in the MCU universe,
I'm
but
more
she's
upset
dead.
that she has all the powers and it was like the dumbest fight.
Oh, terrible fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, that show
horrible
was
fight.
horrible. Ugh.
It's just
I remember I had to go back. I had to go back and like YouTube like what Secret Invasion actually was as like a palate cleanser to like, oh, well, it's supposed to be like good.
it just
Do you
I
think
don't
we'll
know.
ever see another scroll again in this time?
No, no, I
Maybe
thought it was
one.
gonna be big. Maybe we'll see a
Maybe
scroll.
like in Secret Wars or something, there'll be one in the background that gets killed or something.
No, they're all gonna
Yeah, just
die.
one.
They're just gonna be like deleted by
Do
like
we
some
will
kind
we
of
see
magic.
Nick Fury's scroll wife again?
No, Nick Fury's gonna die too.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Nick Fury's gonna die. Shield is gonna die.
Again.
I just somewhere along the line, it got out of control. It got out of hand, and we could all play and point fingers and play the blame game, but the fact of the matter is, you had a source material that was written in the 70s and 80s. All you had to do is tweak it ever so much, ever so slightly. Like, even if you didn't know where to go with, there is a version of something out there that you just could have followed, and it would have been fine.
See, I feel like Kevin Feige had a plan like until Endgame. And then other circumstances like Chadwick Boseman dying, I feel like that was pretty big. I feel like he was going to be the new leader of the Avengers, you know, but then after that they were kind of lost
Oh
and they
man,
didn't really know what to do.
fucking T'Challa as a kid. We forgot. Shit.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Oh
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Namor's
Man,
still out
there's
there.
just so
He's still
much shit out there.
He's gonna
Yeah,
be a
it's
new
there.
Avenger. He's gonna be a new Avenger.
I just, man, there's just, I just, oh, Aquaman, no, not Aquaman.
no, he's
That's
not there.
DC. I was about to say, I was like, Aquaman.
Namor's still there though.
Oh, Namor's still there.
Yeah.
Jeez, Ironheart.
Oh man, what happened to that show?
I don't know what is going on. There's just so much. Oh my gosh.
Are
All
we
right.
getting
Well, I'm
Armor
done. I'm done.
Wars? Is that
We've been
show
going on
still
this for like
happening?
fucking 10 minutes. It's just fucking it's done. I mean, let's just hope for the best moving forward. For now, the MCU is back. It's back, baby, for right now. And let's just ride this wave for as much as we can. Um, but anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Man.
All right, now that we've gone through the whole Marvel universe, back to this movie. Um, what are you gonna rate it? Should people go see it in theaters? Do we need a Deadpool 4? Is there gonna be a Deadpool 4? Let's not get into what's Marvel doing. Let's just it in it of itself. Is there gonna be a Deadpool 4? Chris?
Yeah, I enjoy this movie. I don't know how well it'll hold up like on viewing it multiple times just because I said the plot isn't the deepest thing and it's mostly about like the surprise of seeing like returning characters and actors playing characters that we liked. And so But yeah, this is a fun movie. I would give it 3.5 CGI dog tongues out of 5. And yeah, I saw this in Dolby. I feel like I don't know if it was because I was like on the lower level because wasn't a lot of seats, but like the Dolby was like really hidden for this movie, like for the music and stuff. So definitely recommend seeing that. I think it's still in Dolby even this week, like 3 weeks in a row. So yeah, if you're looking for a way to see it, definitely recommend that. And I think I saw Ryan Reynolds said he's kind of done with this character and it takes a lot out of him to do it. So I don't know if he would want to do another one, but when Disney backs up the dump truck of money, you can't say no to that, right? I mean, this movie is just like so super popular right now and doing so well. Like I wouldn't be surprised if maybe like in like 5 years or something, like way down the line, he comes back. But like I don't know, I feel like this is just such a good send off to both the Fox stuff and also kind of Deadpool in a way and Wolverine. But yeah, what about you, Eddie?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of mostly yeah, pretty much agree. I give this 4 fucks out of 5. Uh it was an enjoyable movie. Um Deadpool being the character, the beloved character that everybody kind of came to kind of love, rightfully so. When you think of Iron Man, it's really hard to picture anybody else but Robert Downey Jr. For same for Deadpool. It's really hard to imagine anybody else who would be able to play this character in such a fashion, and it's definitely resonate with him. Um, if you can, definitely go watch it in movie theaters. It is a good movie to go watch in theaters. So if you're able to also watch it, if you haven't seen it or you're waiting for the hype to die down, just go watch it. It's pretty good. Go on a discount day or something. But it will be enjoyable watching it in a movie theater. Yeah, it's kind of on par with what you were saying, Chris. Just let him die. No pun intended. For like right now, it was a nice send off. It was a nice combination of the way they a nod to the past and a very very tasteful, grateful farewell to everything now. It was really nice. It was really nice, and hats off to Ryan Reynolds, who I was like looking at the credits in the beginning. I was like, he wrote this and produced this. I was like, okay, he was a big part of it. Whether it was him or Kevin Feige or whoever was involved in it to kind of be able to see this the way it is, was really nice. Um, but for now, just like I said, ride the wave, give it a rest, and then when Secret Wars comes around or something else, you know, give them the just due. But for now, just it's okay. We're okay right now with everything. Charlie, what about you?
Yeah, same. I give this 4 Flame On out of 5. Uh I thought it was a super fun movie. I think everyone should go watch it in theaters. I think one of my friends texted me and they're like, Deadpool was um, which I don't know what they're talking about, but
I mean, I
yeah,
feel
I
like
I
if you don't
liked
like the
all
character,
the
you're not gonna like this, right? Because
yeah,
like he's
that's
kind
I
of in
mean
your face in a lot for maybe some people, but yeah.
yeah, but I thought it was overall, I thought it was super fun. Again, like we mentioned, it's a nice farewell to all the Fox movies. I mean, I was tearing up at the end. I wasn't actually tearing up, but I was like, "Oh my God, this was my whole like this was like a good chunk of my life. All these I've seen all these kind of some crappy, some good movies." Um, but I think it was like on Facebook or Instagram, I came across a post where they just like listed all the X-Men movies. I'm like, oh yeah, Days of Future Past. Oh yeah, the third one. I forgot there was like so many, but it was just like, what a time to be alive. Honestly. Um, maybe I'm just like, maybe it's just nostalgia, like goading, like just goading it because it's nostalgia, like the prequels for Star Wars or whatever. But um, good send off overall. Good cameos. They weren't cheesy. And yeah, Deadpool 4. I don't know. I think that's I think that's it. I think all we're gonna see is what I like a Deadpool 4. I don't know what story they would put out there for Deadpool 4 is the other thing. So it might be just Stan Lee cameos from now on. Who knows? Um, but yeah, any final thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, I do like the like credits when this credits start rolling. They showed like, oh, here's like these are like behind the scenes for all the Fox Marvel movies. So that was a nice touch. And like they play like the Green Day song as well. Like
Yeah, they play Green Day Dong, the song. Always
yeah.
gets me. Always. But it's just nice to see. Like it was just so 2000s.
Yep.
Everyone was like younger.
Oh yeah.
Um, and you just remember being excited for like I remember being excited for X-Men 1 and thinking it was like the coolest thing ever. Right. Um, but if you have your thoughts, if there's any cool memories you have, did you like the cameos? Did you not like the cameos? Let us know. Email us at straighttopod@gmail.com. Follow us on X or Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch. We're on everything. Straight to POD. And that concludes this week's episode of Straight to POD. I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Eddie.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.